Namaste everyone. Let's start our Hatha yoga practice today with 3 Oms. If you've never done Om before and don't know what it means, it's a very simple sound with quite a complex meaning, which is quite hard to explain. The reason I start with Om at the beginning of my practice is to unite us together, to bring us to the mat for starters. So it's a little bit of a ritual to really bring us to our yoga practice. Om itself is a word that sort of embodies body, mind and spirit in a way. It's sort of a whole universal word. And it also, if nothing else, it doesn't have religious overtones as such, but if nothing else, the actual process of saying the word Om creates like a relaxation factor in the body. It actually works on our vagus nerve, which works on our parasympathetic nervous system, which is our slow down system, our rest and digest. So, you know, it might seem a bit odd when we first do it, when we first participate in the Om. It's sort of said A-U-M, Om. And if you can start the sound from your belly and bring it up, the A-U-M, up through, from the belly up through the chest as you release it, and then the M out the lips, that's sort of what we do. So let's join in together. Bring our hands to heart center. You can shut down your eyes so that you don't have to see me or anyone else in the house. And we will inhale for Om. So inhale. Om. Inhale. Om. Inhale. Om. Keep our eyes shut, relax our hands down to our knees. Just going to sit as tall as we can with a straight spine. Just take a few deep breaths in and big sighs out. Really let go of any tension in the body, any thoughts, any worries. Try and expel them with your exhalation. So inhale. Really let it out. One more. Very good. If you've never done yoga before and you can't get down on the mat and you're just watching, feel free to do any of the movements in the chair. Raise the hands above the head, just do the deep breaths. All of it will be good for you. Yoga isn't about our physical asanas or poses. It's really about bringing yourself to the here and now, the present moment. So if you're watching, just join in with the breathing, join in with the arm movements if you're in a chair. And just enjoy. That's the whole purpose. There's no point doing yoga if you don't enjoy. It's all about creating strength, but creating ease in the body, not disease, ease. So let's all find ourselves in child's pose, which is a pose or an asana in itself. So knees as close together or as far apart as you like. Take the bottom back towards the heels, and we've got extended arms above our head. Now some people's bottoms might touch their heels, some people might be sitting up a little bit higher depending on their body, doesn't matter. Let's just sink ourselves as low as we can to the mat in child's pose. This is a pose that you can come back to or spend the whole next hour in if you wish, but come back to for a rest. If we are doing a vinyasa flow where we flow through our downward dogs and chaturangas and you're tired, or you just feel that you want to come back into child's pose, feel free. So we're just going to take a couple of deep breaths here. And as we inhale, we're going to take the breath all the way to our belly, fill up our rib cage, and then as we exhale, we're just going to feel our belly sinking and soften, and just try and relax ourselves a little bit more towards the floor.
yourself sink and soften. On your next inhale, we're going to press our palms and 5 fingers into the floor and bring ourselves forward so that our shoulders are above our hands and our torso straightens out between our knees and our shoulders into a modified plank. And then we're going to take ourselves back, heel to bottom as we exhale. We'll do that a couple more times. So inhale, come forward. Long spine, long neck. Exhale, go back, drawing in the belly. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, come back. On our next inhale, we're going to come forward and we're going to lift, if we can, lift our knees off the ground and let our belly sink towards the earth. Now this is what we call upward facing dog. So when we get to our flow, if you've never done upward facing dog, this is your pose. Your knees and your thighs are off the ground. The upper foot is pushing into the mat and our arms are above our wrists. Okay, let's take ourselves back into child's pose. Our other option in our flow is to inhale, come forward, exhale, lower all the way down to the floor. Inhale, raise the chest, pull the elbows into the sides of your rib cage and shoulders down your back for Bhujang Asana or Cobra pose. Okay, come back into child's pose. Tuck the toes under. This time we're going to inhale forward above our wrists and lift our knees, if you can, into a full plank. So our option in our flow is to bend the elbows, come down, Chaturanga Dandasana, all the way to the floor. Uncurl the toes, inhale, raise the chest, Cobra pose. Exhale, push back to child's pose. So we have our option of staying on our knees and going down to the floor, coming up to Cobra pose. Or we come forward, our toes are tucked under, we're in our full plank, we lower, Chaturanga, we uncurl our toes, upward facing dog, our knees and our thighs haven't touched. Okay, tuck the toes under wherever you are and come back into down dog. Inner thighs turning towards the back of the room, heels towards the floor. Tailbone up to the sky, push away from your hands. All 5 knuckles of your fingers should be pushing into the mat. Take a few breaths here in downward dog. If you'd like to pedal the feet up and down. Relax the head, shake no and yes. We're going to walk our feet slowly towards our hands at the front of the mat and stop when our feet are about 1 foot distance away from the top of the mat. Hands are on our shins, thighs or feet. Knees can be bent or straight. Might take a little while for them to straighten during the practice. Inhale, we're going to bring our heart forward, open our collarbones and lift our body halfway. Lift, chest lift, so that we're like an upside down L shape. Exhale, fold forward, head relaxed. Inhale, chest lift, belly's pulled in, supporting core, supporting us. Hands slide up the legs. Exhale, lower, forward fold. Inhale, chest lift. This time take your hands beside your body, fingers pointing back, palms facing the floor like an aeroplane. Hold here for 2 breaths. Exhale, fold down. Forward fold is Uttanasana. Inhale, one more chest lift. This time take the arms out in front of your head, palms facing each other. Hold there for 2 breaths. And relax, forward fold, bend the knees. Inhale, circle the arms around to your side, come up to standing, join your palms above your head, arch back a little bit if you can, and then standing tall, hands down through heart center. Okay, we're going into our sun salutes now, which we've actually done quite a lot of poses in our introduction there. So we're going to sun salute A only today. We'll do it a few times so that if you've never done it before, you get familiar with it. So I will give the modified option first of from the knees and going all the way to the floor. But if you know your full plank and your chaturanga, go straight into that. So standing in Dandasana, shoulders back and down, head, crown of the head towards the sky, belly pulled in, lifting up through the feet, lift the kneecaps, engage the thighs. Inhale, circle the arms around to the sky. Exhale, swan dive forward, hinging from the hips, straight spine, forward fold. Inhale, chest lift, heart forward. Exhale, hands to floor, step back. Plank or modified plank, lower all the way to the floor. Chaturanga, Dandasana. Inhale, uncurl the toes, raise the chest, cobra pose, Bhujangasana. Exhale, tuck the toes, push up onto the knees into downward dog. Couple of breaths here in downward dog. Inhale, walk the feet towards the hands, raise the chest, chest lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, circle the arms above the head and down through heart center. Sun salute or Surya Namaskara A again. Inhale, arms up, little back bend if you can. Exhale, forward fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hands to floor, step back, knees to floor if you want, or full plank, chaturanga, all the way to the floor, or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward dog. 2 breaths here. You can walk your feet up between your hands, or you can come on your toes, bend your knees and lightly jump forward. Inhale, raise your chest. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up. Arms above head and hands through heart center. 2 more, a little bit faster this time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chest lift. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog or cobra. Downward dog. Walk or jump those feet forward between the hands. Inhale, raise the chest. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms up above your head. Hands down through heart center and fold forward. Inhale, chest lift. Exhale, Chaturanga. Upward facing dog or cobra. Downward dog. Just gather your breath here in downward dog. Okay, taking your right leg in the air for 3-legged dog. Keep the hips level, we're not opening up the hip at this stage. So leg in the air, big inhale, and as you exhale, bring that right knee into the right elbow, bringing your shoulders over your wrists. Take the leg up behind you. Exhale, bring that knee into the left elbow, see if they can kiss each other. And take it up behind, inhale. Inhale, bring it to the middle. Take it up behind. This time we're going to bring that knee to the middle of the chest and then step it out to the left-hand side between your left arm and leg. Bring your right hand to the centre of the mat and open into a side plank. Whew. So you've got your right leg out in front of you now. If you can take your left arm up over your head and lift your right hip into wild dog. Otherwise, stay in your side plank. Otherwise, go back to downward dog if you're struggling. Okay, come back, bring your left hand down onto the mat, bring your right leg through and up behind you for three-legged dog, and then place it down on the mat and drop to child's pose so I can catch my breath. Here's your chance if you were watching and you haven't done it. While I catch my breath, you can do that first side. Okay, ready to attack the other side. So we're from child's pose, we're going to meet in downward dog. This time it's our left leg into the air for three-legged dog. Exhale, bring it to left knee to left elbow. Really tuck up and under, almost like cat pose. Inhale, take the leg behind. Exhale, bring it as close to your right elbow as you can. Left leg up. Bring it to the middle of your chest. Even to your nose if you can. Up behind. This time we're bringing it through and stepping it out under our right armpit to our right. So bring it in, step it out. Left hand comes in slightly, open to a side plank. From here, if you can turn your legs almost in a tabletop and open into wild dog. Really opening the front of the chest. And then come back and let's all meet in left leg in the air, three-legged dog, down onto the floor for downward dog, and then into child's pose. Okay, from child's pose, we're going to all meet in downward facing dog. So come up into downward facing dog. Again, take your right leg in the air and bring the knee forward and step the right foot forward next to your right hand into a low lunge position or a runner's lunge position. We're going to inhale, bring our arms above our head. So push through that front foot and leg and see if you can bring your arms above your head. Like warrior one arms. From here, we're going to take our hands back down our front leg. So our front leg's bent. We're going to wrap our arms around our front thigh and actually pull away from the front thigh. So contract the core and as though you're hugging that front leg but pulling away with a straight torso. So your spine's straight, actually really using a bit of arm muscles but really using our leg muscles. Release there, hands to the floor, just make sure you're secure on those back toes and then begin to straighten the front leg for pyramid pose. You might want to walk that front back foot in, your left foot in a little bit closer. So both legs straight, folding over our front leg for pyramid. Inhale, come up, chest lift. Keep those legs straight. Come up onto your fingertips as far as you can go. See if you can bring your hands up beside your hips like aeroplane arms. Keep that front straight leg. And release. Bend that front leg. Inhale, raise the arms above the head again. Front leg is bent. And then release the hands down to the mat and take the front foot back to meet the back foot and come into downward dog. Just staying in downward dog for a few moments, or you can drop into child's pose if you just need that few seconds rest. Okay, inhale your left leg in the air. Exhale, bring it forward into a lunge like we just did on the other side. And when you're ready, inhale your arms over your head. Just check that that front knee is directly above the front ankle. Our feet are both facing to the short end of the mat, to the front of your mat. A couple of breaths here with arms above our head. And then we're going to exhale, wrap our arms around that front thigh and lift our chest up, pulling away from that front thigh. See if you can push back into that back heel at the same time. Release hands to the floor. See if you can then straighten your front leg. If you need to, just bring that back foot in slightly for pyramid and fold over the front leg. If you look back at your back foot, it's only about hip width away from the front across your mat. Not too wide, but if you need them wider for stability, that's okay. Okay, see if you can inhale, raise your chest and come up onto your fingertips. Draw the left hip back, right hip forward. Both legs straight. Push into that back heel. Feel the strength here. And release. Hands to the floor. Inhale, raise the hands above the head as you bend the front knee and come back into your crescent lunge. And then bring the hands to the floor, step the left foot back to meet the right and come into downward dog. Or if you'd like, down into child's pose. I like. Okay, up into downward dog again. Let's all meet up there. Take our right leg up in the air. Again, step it forward by our right, inside our right hand. Drop our left foot, heel down this time at an angle. Bring our arms up into warrior one. So instead of our left foot being up on our toes, we've now got our foot flat on the ground, pushing through the outside edge of that back foot. Chest and eyes facing to the short end of the front of your mat. Front knee bent. But make sure wherever you are that you're in a comfortable position for your body. Don't try and force yourself into any particular position. You don't have to look like me, and I certainly don't look like everyone else. So let's take some big, deep breaths here and really try and soften into this pose. It's a very strong pose, but we want to create a bit of softness with it, a bit of ease.
grow tall with those arms. Exhale, open the arms out. Right hand forward, left hand behind us. Front knee still stays bent. Into Warrior Two, Vibdrasana B. Okay, begin to straighten that front leg and bring the right hand down to the right knee, left arm up in the air and side bend ourselves over for extended Trikonasana or triangle pose. You might only have come over so that your hands at your knee, or you might be able to slide it all the way towards the mat and float it above the mat. Drawing our right shoulder back and down away from our ears, really opening up our side body up to the sky. Let's bring that left arm down to the mat by our right foot. Lengthen our spine forward and then open our right arm up to the sky. So front leg is still straight for our triangle pose or Trikonasana, and we're doing a revolve triangle, so we're twisting away, looking to our right. If it's too much to have your arm in the air, you might take it down behind your back and have a bit of leverage to open up the chest in that way. Both legs straight. Make sure you're pushing into that back outside edge of your back foot, left foot. And then release the right hand down near your front foot. Walk your fingers around to the left. Turn your toes so that your feet are now parallel, and we're up on our fingertips for a wide leg split. Staying just up on our fingertips here, trying to keep our belly pulled in and a nice straight spine. See if you can now bring your arms beside your hips like aeroplane arms that we did earlier without losing the height with our body, so keeping our body in the same position. If it's too much, keep the fingers on the ground. Release the hands to the floor and let's walk ourselves around to our left. So our left toes now pointing to the other end of the mat. Bring our right toes slightly in. Our left knee is bent so it's above our ankle, and we'll rise up to Warrior One, Vibdrasana A, to do our other side. Big inhale, grow tall with those arms open into Vibdrasana B, Warrior Two pose. Drop those shoulders down our back. Begin to straighten your front left leg. Reach forward with our left arm and lower towards our left leg, coming into our Trikonasana or triangle on the other side. Again, if it's too much for your shoulders to hold your arm up in the air, just drop it behind your back. Don't dump down onto this side, so don't just fold over. Make sure we're long through our body. We're supporting our body with our tummy muscles rather than just letting gravity take us towards the earth.
right hand down to the mat. Keep our front leg straight in triangle. Right hand to the floor, this time opening the left side up. So looking to your left, opening the left arm up to the sky or behind your back. Certainly if you've got blocks at home, you probably know what to do with them, but you could have a block under this right hand just to give yourself that little lift. So this is our revolved triangle. Bring that left hand down to the mat. Walk the fingers around into the long edge of your mat. Turn the toes in again. One more time. Lift the chest up, halfway lift. Hands by our sides in aeroplane. A couple of big deep breaths here. And then on our next inhale, raise the crown of our head towards the sky. Drawing in and coming to standing. Well done. Oh, let's just bring our feet together and stand in Tandasana. Just shut down your eyes and just check out how you're feeling. Are you enjoying it? Are you overdoing it? Are you feeling good? Are you proud? Are you strong? Are you exhausted? Pop down into child's pose if you are. Okay. Coming into our standing balance, we're going into our tree pose. So standing, I'm starting standing on my right leg, engaging, creating a really strong foundation, firstly through that right leg. So lift up through the right leg, engage all of the muscles. When I'm ready, toe of my left foot out to the side and then walk it into whatever position you'd like. Resting against the leg, on top of the foot, side of the calf, or if you can, you may bring it up into your upper thigh, but not over your knee joint. If I had a bit of grip on my foot, I could leave it up there, but it slips away. Okay, then the idea with tree pose is to open our hip here. So whatever knee you've got up, try and draw it back. Draw it back. Don't have it pointing out towards the front. Try and open that hip. Hands can stay on your hips. Come to heart center, or if you'd like to extend into a tall tree, go for it. From here, we're going to bring our knee back in front of us, grab it underneath the thigh and take it out to the side. You can have the other arm out for balance or on your hip. Now, if you can, I might hang on just for the demonstration. If you can grab your big toe and extend that leg out to the side. Or remain just hanging, opening up the knee. Bringing it up to the side. So have a bit of an experimentation with any of those. And then when you're ready, release that leg down. Okay, other side. So create that foundation on your left leg. And when you're ready, making your tree. And trees are allowed to blow in the wind and wobble and even fall over. Don't forget to open that knee, open it out to the side. Then if you'd like to grab under that knee, bring the knee up and out to the side, or if you've got really long arms,
not necessarily. If you're flexible enough, peace fingers around that big toe, whoop, and lift the leg out to the side. And relax it down. Oh, well done. All right. Let's come to the top of our mat again and work our way down to the mat. So inhale, arms up in the air, forward fold.
Hands to the floor. We're going to step our right leg back now into a lunge and then drop our left leg back, and drop our left knee. I'm just padding under my left knee, so if you think you need a little bit of padding under there, if it's a bit of pressure that your knees don't like. Okay, so right knee above right ankle, left knee back. We've got a stretch happening through my left hip here. So slide that left knee back as far as you can. And then we're going to, like we did before when we had our knee off the ground, we're going to raise our arms up in the air and then take them behind our buttocks. And then if you can, open the heart up to the sky. So open the chest, pull the shoulders back and down, and use the hands on the butt as a little bit of pressure, allowing that back bend. Now if you have back issues and this doesn't suit you, don't do it. Your choice. Okay, release the hands and bring them to heart center. Now we're going to take our left elbow to the outside of the right knee, lengthen through the crown of the head and then twist towards our right. So lift and lengthen from our tailbone to the crown of the head prior to our twist. And use the left elbow against that right knee, both pushing against each other so that our knee is still above our ankle. Feeling that stretch in that back left hip. Try and soften and breathe into that stretch. And slowly unravel, bring our hands back to heart center, facing the front. Take the hands down to the floor. Bring both hands inside our right foot and wriggle our right foot to the outside of the mat. We're going to lower into lizard pose here. You may not be able to lower too much. You might stay on straight arms, or you might be able to bring yourself down on elbows towards the floor. The right knee can fall out to the side. Getting a big stretch here in this left hip and right butt, right hamstring, the back of our upper leg. Pushing our way back up onto our arms. You can stay here on both arms, or if you can take your right arm behind your back and reach back and grab your left toe. For another twist, you may or may not be able to reach it. You may or may not cramp. And if it's too much pressure on your kneecap, don't do it. And release, come back to your hands, framing your front foot, wriggle your right foot in, and then step the right foot forward a little bit, creep it forward as far as you can, and then bring the toes back towards you, for a half split. So my front leg is now straight and I'm pulling my toes back towards me and my left hip is directly above my left knee. That's my half split. Stay there, or if you would like to work your front foot forward and your back leg back to go into more of a full split to wherever you can, have a go at that. Trying to not dump too much weight into our hips and our arms, so try and push out of the earth. Take a couple more deep breaths here. And then gracefully drawing that front leg back. And then taking your right knee back to meet your left, drop back into child's pose for a couple of breaths. Had to go. They're very challenging, all of those poses, so we all would have looked very different depending on our anatomy and our flexibility and range of motion in various parts of our body. We will all look quite different doing those poses. But as long as you're not hurting yourself. Okay. The other side. So coming up onto our hands and knees, we'll now step our left leg forward. Pull it forward far enough so that the knee's over the ankle and you're stretched through the back hip. Inhale, raise the hands over the head. Exhale, take them behind your buttock, and then if you can open your chest, look up a little bit. Don't drop the head right back and shorten the neck, but creating a nice gentle back bend for yourself. Breathe. Hands back to heart center. Drop the hands to the floor. Bring the left hand inside the left foot and walk the left leg out. And then we can lower down in our lizard pose. If you can go any lower, down to the elbows, otherwise just on the hands. Not all sides are created equal, so you may be able to do one thing on one side, but not necessarily on the other. Bringing ourselves up on our hands again. Having a little experiment whether you can reach that left arm now around to grab your right foot. Oh, nearly. Ooh. Won't last long here with crab. See how you go. If you can, reach it and turn and twist and look behind you. Good. And release, bringing the hands back to the floor. Wriggle that left foot back in towards the center of the mat and your left hand next to it on the outside now, and come back into your half split. So heel on the floor, front heel on the floor, toes towards your nose, back hip above the back knee. For our half split, just folding forward to where you can. You might not be able to go down
or like you might actually have to stay up, or you might fold down. And again, your choice if you'd like to slide that front leg forward into your, well, attempt for full split. Bring that front foot back all the way towards your bottom, and if you can go directly to sitting on your bottom, well and good. Otherwise, just in whatever fashion that you can turn around and come over onto your butt. For our seated poses, which our first one is just staff pose or Dandasana for starters. So as though we're standing on the ground, we have our feet, toes pointed towards the ceiling, our feet against a flat imaginary board. We're drawing up through our legs. We're sitting up tall here through the body, shoulders back and down, hands just resting by our side. From here, we're going to inhale and raise our hands above our head, and exhale with a straight spine, hinge at the hips as though we're doing our swan dive. Bring our heart forward and fold forward to wherever you can, and once you're wherever you can, drop the hands down to the mat. And just with each breath, gradually just trying to soften into this pose, bringing our rib cage towards our knees, not dropping our head at this stage. Really shut down the eyes in these mat poses and really see if you can really surrender to the pose. Find a lot of try and lose a lot of resistance by using your breath. And on your next inhale, really lengthening through the crown of the head first and slowly bringing yourself up to seated. And then we're going to go into a half lotus. I'll just turn around here. So with half lotus, we're just going to cross one foot over just above our other knee. So I've got my left ankle just above my right knee, and my right leg is straight. From here, I'm coming into a fold again. So exactly what we did with Dandasana, we sit tall and we fold, bringing our heart forward. So you'll feel this will be a stretch in your left hip, if you've got your left leg folded. So a full lotus, we would have our right foot in underneath and have our shins stacked. We'll just do a half lotus. If you can go straight into a full lotus and fold, feel free. Inhale, lengthen through the torso, raise the heart. And we'll swap sides. So with me, left leg straight, right foot over and above our left knee, right knee towards the ground, but my anatomy or flexibility won't let it fall there, but if yours falls flat, fine. Sit tall and fold. beauty of yoga is that there's no right pose. There's only a right pose for your body, and you know, we don't have to be in a pose, we just have to simply be. Just be here. And it's very inspiring, really, to think you can be fantastic at yoga just in your own body. You don't have to be like anyone else, and you still feel fantastic, and that's what it's all about. Inhale, raise the chest, unravel the legs. We'll just go into a twist. So we'll bring our left foot, bend our left knee and bring our left foot on the outside of our right knee. Now you can also choose to take that right foot in by your bottom then, if you'd like. But the purpose of this pose is to raise the chest, grab the left knee with your right hand, sit tall, and then twist around to your left. So it doesn't really matter whether that right foot's tucked in by your buttock or not. It can be out straight in front of you. So really important we sit tall and elongate our spine before we do our twist, so that we aren't hunched over, as in flexed and twisty. That's when we quite often do some damage to our spine. So sit tall and then twist slowly. Our back hand is just a little balancing point. It's not assisting in the twist, but we can use a little bit of leverage with this front knee to get a little bit more out of our twist. Make sure we're sitting tall as we start to unravel and come back to centre. Straighten both legs out in front of us. And then bring our right foot on the outside of our left knee. Again, left leg can stay out straight in front of you, or you can bring it round and tuck it near your right hip. Sit tall. Grab the right knee with your left arm, sit tall and twist around to your right. Make sure you're dropping your shoulders away from your ears, you're not all hunched up. Try and keep that front right foot flat on the ground. Gradually unravel, straighten our legs out. Okay, let's make our way down onto our back for our last couple of poses. And we're just going to do some nice restful poses now. So soles of our feet together, knees apart in butterfly. Now you can have your feet a long way from your bottom, or you can draw them right up as close, and you'll just get a little bit of a different sensation. So just laying in butterfly, hands can be resting on the floor beside you, or if you just want to get a stretch through the upper arms, up behind you, above your head. And then just take some deep breaths and really try and sink your head, your shoulders, your butt, your hips. Let the knees
fall as heavily as gravity will let them towards there. And just really relax in this pose. Big deep breath in. Big pause at the top of the breath, and then a big deep breath out. And again. Okay, bring the hands back down to the side. Now your choice now, depending on your shoulders and neck, you may attempt a shoulder stand. But please, if you have any sort of back, neck, shoulder issues, perhaps don't. And maybe watch the shoulder stand first prior to doing it. If your choice is not to do a shoulder stand, maybe just legs straight in the air. You can even place your hands under your bottom, helps them straighten and stay there. So that's one option, legs in the air. A shoulder stand, we put our neck in an imaginary neck brace. So there's none, once I start, none of this of me looking at the camera, but keep our eyes towards the ceiling. Then we bend our knees towards our chest, and using our hands we can give a little bit of a kick. So you might just stay hanging on, work the elbows in close, hang on, work the hands up the back and support our back with our hips sort of above our shoulders. They don't, well, they might be if you're really clever, but there's no actual pressure on my neck, although there's a little bit of scrunching in my throat, so I need to breathe deeply. From there, if you would like to try and extend the legs in the air and bring the, draw the belly in, take the feet as high as you can, and try and get the hips above the upper back. They're not really above the shoulders. And breathe. To come out of the pose, bend the knees down and then just gradually roll them up down towards the mat. And rest the legs down. Just give the head a little wriggle, make sure you're feeling okay there. Maybe from side to side with your neck. Okay, our last and the most favourite and most important pose is our Shavasana. So we're going to go into Shavasana now. Depending on how your back feels, you might actually do Shavasana with your knees bent, resting again, supporting each other at the knees, feet wide. Or long pillow under the knees if you wish, blanket if you wish. So get yourself comfortable. A little bit cold in here now for me. Take your feet as wide as the corners of your mat. Turn the inner arches up to the sky. Arms can lay gently by your side, or you may prefer them resting on your tummy. Depending on your neck, you may want a little low pillow under your neck. Just lift, push down on your elbows and just lift your upper back off the mat, and then just rest the shoulder blades down a bit lower and a bit heavier onto the floor. Have a little wriggle and a bit of a fidget and get yourself in as comfortable position as you can, and then close down your eyes take a couple of big deep sighs again, like we did before. Big inhale in. Really sighing it out. And again. And then we don't necessarily have to take hugely long in-breaths and out-breaths. But what I'd like you to do is inhale and then just find that pause before you exhale, a bit like we did before. And then after you've exhaled, just don't inhale until your body tells you to. So inhale, pause, exhale. Find that stillness there. And don't inhale until your body really tells you, right, I need to take an inhalation, and see if you can find that real stillness in that moment. Some people, it might be quite a while before they need to take that next breath, and I certainly don't want you holding your breath, but just take that pause until you really feel like you need to inhale again. And as you do that, just do it for a few breaths, and then just gradually go into your Shavasana, into your full relaxation, and I'll bring you back in a few minutes. feel free to stay in your Shavasana for as long as you like. But if you're ready to get up now, just start to wriggle the fingers and the toes, bringing some life back to your body. And when you feel ready, rolling onto your side. Gradually taking yourself up onto your seat. Keep your eyes shut down. Bring our hands to heart center. Let's finish with one Om and 3 Shantis. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thanks for joining me tonight. Let's hope you can find that pause that you found in your breath, that stillness whenever you need it. Join me at 4 p.m. tomorrow for Yin Yoga if you like a slower practice, a slow, still meditative yoga practice. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Thank you.